should know what these are. These fit behind the cab, between the cab and the bed. And you can see they're typically, with everything on the truck, rusty. I got all the paint off, about 4 different coats of paint. I've still got some of the original paint, not going to worry about that. I'm going to cut patches out to repair them. Yes, somebody's making reproductions, but I might have to wait 6 months to get them. So I'll just patch these up, de-rust them, and put them back into service. All right, got these patched up, and of course I'll gotta do the finish welding on them, do a little bit more rust cleanup, get some of those pores cleaned out. But this is going to tell me, and you'll see later, how much I've got to add to the back of that piece, because these kind of go in like that, kind of. So I think these look a little bit better than they did. Actually have the bolt holes nice and steady. A little more sanding, a little more primer. They'll be ready for some real paint. Okay, this is the only piece of metal that I've actually had to purchase so far. The rest has been scrap. This is going to repair the panel on the bed that's in back of the cab. The bottom 1.5 inches is going to be bent 90 degrees. I'm kind of limited by my Harbor Freight metal brake. It's only 36 inches, so I'm going to have to cut this in half. This is 54 inches, and I just have to make sure that it is still 54 inches when it goes back together, and my bends line up and all that kind of stuff. Highly recommend Metal Supermarkets, Indianapolis, 2 locations. Got this one at the 79th Street one. That's the next project. Well, this is not near as easy as I presumed and planned it to be. The Harbor Freight sheet metal brake did not work on 16 gauge pieces that big. I did not have enough strength to move it. Couldn't do it. So I had to resort to the old ways. There it is, roughly where it's going to be. I have to assemble the 2 side pieces to make sure of the exact placement of that. So here are these front spacers, I guess, between the cab and the bed. And like I said, I am using those to figure out where this is going to be, where this cut is going to be. Lies right on there, and it lines right up with where the wood is supposed to be. So now mark that, cut it, and weld her up. Now that I have this assembled, this is going to be the patch piece. I'm going to drill through these two holes, and so when I take everything apart, I can just bolt these two pieces together. That will tell me exactly where to cut on this line. I think it'll be easier with it disassembled. That way I can get a straighter line on that. But yeah, drill through those so you can bolt it together. So I had an experience on my last trip that the brake lights stopped working, blew a fuse, brought it home, blew two more, did a little troubleshooting. I don't think there's any problem with wiring. So I got another brake switch, and I don't have the original connectors, so I soldered wires on there, and I found this connector, so I think I'm gonna solder and heat shrink that into the circuit, and cross my fingers that is truly the problem. What has been on there since I got the truck is the original stoplight switch, so yeah, 70 years, that's probably long enough. We'll see what happens. Yes, the 70-year-old brake light switch failed. I guess everything has a lifespan. Brake lights are working just fine, blowing no fuses. Okay, here's one of those things that you don't have to do, but my original carburetor had one of these on. Of course, the glass was long busted. There's a Carter filter, glass bowl filter, or sediment filter. Thanks for Mortsky Repair. I bought one off of him, but actually I tore it apart and basically used two of these to make one good one. Carter does still have the gaskets available. There's a rubber gasket in here. Getting them is a little tricky. It took me several months to get mine. But I've got to bend some steel pipe to get this back in so it will look all original. But anyway, there you go. So I broke my finger doing something stupid, but the show must go on. Almost forgot one little detail in these stake pockets. If you're really going to put in a stake bed, that's where your 2x4 is going to go there. Except as delivered, there was nothing here. So I just added a little loop of metal there. I'll weld that in there. And then that will match that. So this piece right here, I tried my best to bend it back. Nah, it's not bending. So I'm gonna try to duplicate it. So here's how I replaced this. And this is pretty heavy duty. Some kind of hardness, I don't know. Just stuff I had. A couple of pieces of tubing. And then this is actually pretty thick. So it's actually slightly bigger, probably stronger, and a little prettier.